Welcome to the demonstration of the eBay Manager Google Spreadsheet. Utilizing a custom-coded API that connects directly to your eBay store, this application will sync your listings and sales data and provide key metrics specifically tailored for online reselling. In this video, I will show you some of the key features of the application. The first step is to provide Google authorization for the spreadsheet to execute code on your behalf. Go ahead and change over to the Inventory tab and click the Update Listings button. It's going to say authorization is required. Go ahead and click OK. You're going to get a pop-up where it's going to ask you to choose or log into your Google account. You're going to get a pop-up similar to this. You're going to click Advanced, scroll down to the very bottom where it says Go to eBay Manager 2024, Unsafe, and click OK, or click the link. And then the final verification, scroll down and click Allow. Next, I will show you how to connect the spreadsheet to your eBay account. Using the eBay menu item, select eBay Login. The pop-up window will instruct you to click the link, Log into eBay. This will open up a new window. Here you'll use your ID and password for your eBay account. You're going to click Agree and Continue. And when you see the authorization successfully completed window, go ahead and click up here in the URL, right-click, copy, go back to the application and paste into the box. Then finally click the Authenticate button. Now that your spreadsheet is authorized and connected to your eBay account, let's mass import all of your listings. You only need to do this one time. I'll show you how to sync your listings on a daily basis later on in the video. So let's go to eBay. Go to our selling page. Let's go to Reports and Downloads. Click the Download Report button. Click Select Report Source, select Listings, select Report Type, All Active Listings, Download. You can see it's creating my report and the file has been created. Now we need to get that file from our computer over to our Google Drive. So let me go back to Google. I'm going to click the Google Apps button, go to Drive. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to go to my demo folder. I'm going to open up Windows Explorer. I'm going to go to my Downloads folder and I'm going to move the file from the computer over to Google Drive. I'm just dragging and dropping. Now what we need to do is open up that file. So go ahead and double click. There's all my listings. I'm going to click the box in the top left. You can do Control-C to copy. Go back to the eBay Manager application. Go over to the Listings tab this time. Again, click the top left box. Control-V, paste. And now all of my listings are in the Listings tab. Now if I go back over to Inventory, select the eBay menu item and select Import Listings. This utility will import 200 items at a time. So we're starting with item number 1. Click the OK button. So right now the application is working on those listings, and you can see the status here in the box. We're currently around 50 items out of 200. So we're going to let this run for a minute. Now remember, this is a one-time thing. This is the only time that you'll ever do a CSV style import of this application. From here on out. After you get done listing for the day, all you're going to do is click this button here that says update listings. That'll go out and grab the latest listings that you've created, and it'll automatically add them into the spreadsheet. So a few more seconds here and we should be complete. Okay, import is complete. We can click the box, and as you can see, it's color coding already. And we'll talk about the features of this page later, but I've got some older listings. Okay, so that was the first 200. We need to do that again. Import listings. This time 201 is the first one. Hit the OK button, and off it goes. Once it reaches the end, it'll say its listing is complete, and we'll just hit the box, the X, and we'll be done with this portion. And we're almost there. I think I have currently around 330 listings. And we're all complete. Now that we have our listings imported, let's talk about the inventory tab. We've got some buttons running across the top of the screen. We've got update listings. That's going to be the main button you click every day after you do your listings. When you click that, it's going to go hit the eBay servers. It's going to pull in everything that's new and automatically add them to the spreadsheet. Some of these other buttons you're not going to use as often. Update listings by date range. All that means is you can go in here and manipulate the dates to whatever you need to pull in, and then click and it'll do the same thing except limited to those date ranges. Update listings will always go based on what is down here in this box, and you'll see in a minute here when I click the button that after the operation is complete, it'll put the latest timestamp, the current timestamp in there, so that the next time it runs, it knows where it left off. Update listing selection. Let's say you changed some, like you changed maybe the title description, or you've changed the price, and you want to update the spreadsheet. You can select them here and then hit the button. What moved bottom does is, when you open the spreadsheet, it's going to default to this view here. You click the button, takes you to the bottom. So let's see some of this in action. I've already set this in the past to pull in some listings that now are there. I don't have any recent listings. I've been busy trying to get this the spreadsheet ready for you guys. So let me go ahead and hit update listings. It's going to pull everything in from 12/11 on. So let's see what happens. So it's going out there to eBay. It's looking for listings, and it found 6, and it's got them all, and it just added them to the bottom. Now you see some of them came in green. That means they've already sold, and that's just a result of me trying to get this to work for you guys, to show you how it actually operates. Sometimes they will come in sold. If something sold before you were able to add it to the spreadsheet, that's perfectly fine. Now, once you have the items in here, the only data entry you need to do is, to give it a cost. So what did you pay for the item? So usually after I list, I, click the update listings button. It pulls them in, and then I'll go ahead and put, what I paid, something like this. I typically buy my items from the local Goodwills, and with discounts and such, I get them around $6 an item. That is it for this, for the data entry part here. Some of these other buttons do the kind of the same thing. If I click this listings by date range, it's going to use these dates here, and you'll see it's not really going to change anything. It's going out, it's looking, it's grabbing them. They're already in the spreadsheet, so it's not going to do anything. If I wanted to, let's say I delete some of these items and I want to, get this updated with the latest data, I can hit this button, update listing selection. It goes out, gets that data from eBay and populates it. Now, I mean, this up here is kind of self-explanatory. It's just showing the number of items you have that are active, how many are completed, how many ended. Over here, I found it important over the past few years to know like how long my listings are sitting, and I like them color coded. So I chose the state range here. Now this can be adjusted. So if you see some things like looks like 30 is a cutoff, let's say we want to make that like 32. If I change that text, it'll adjust. So you can move this stuff around, however you like, whatever works best for your business. And you can see it's adjusting how many listings you have in those categories as you change that number. And that's about it for the inventory tracker. Now that we understand the inventory page, let's look at sales. The sales tracker has a very similar layout with a start date, end date, and timestamp and a row of buttons underneath. The two green buttons, update orders and update fees selection, is what you're going to use every day. In the morning, you hit update orders. It'll hit eBay, grab your orders, put them in the spreadsheet. After you do your shipping, you're going to select those orders and hit update fee selection. That'll pull in your postage, eBay, promoted fees, etc. The update orders by date range is if you're manually adjusting your start and end date. Update order selection is used if you say have a return or a cancellation. You'd process that order in eBay, come back to the spreadsheet, select the item and hit the button, and then pull in your latest data associated with that item. Update cost selection we'll talk about in 1 minute, and update or move to bottom just brings you to the bottom of the spreadsheet. So let's pull in the orders from January 2nd. Normally, you would never change that timestamp. You just open the spreadsheet up in the morning, hit update orders, and that's it. Because it always puts in the latest timestamp, and it knows to where to start the next time. So I found 7 items, pulled them in. So you can see that we don't have any costs associated with any of these items, because when we did our import, we didn't go and put a value in for those items. So let's go and update Wrangler jeans in the inventory page. I know that's an older item, up in the 150 range. Wrangler jeans cost $5. You can see this item took 160 days to sell. If I go back here, and select anywhere in this row and click the update cost selection, it's going to go find that item in the inventory page, grab the value and put it here. Now, the very first time that you run this, when you don't have any listings, any sales, and you get your first one, the very first time you do have to go up here to the eBay menu item and do update sales formulas. If at any point you feel like the formulas got messed up, you accidentally maybe click the wrong place or type something in and you think maybe something's broke, you can at any point you can go in here and click either of these, and it will update the spreadsheet to put all the calculations in. As you can see, when I did that, everything started filling in. So I know that all of these items have shipped. So what I would do, I would select anywhere in here. Just select anywhere, and I hit update fees. So now it's going out to eBay and it's finding the fees associated with each of those items. And when it does that, the spreadsheet knows that we're done with those items, and turns them green. I've got one item here that is Levi's 550s. I think that sold today. Let's go down here and see. No, where's the timestamp? 1/4. Oh, yeah, 1/4. It sold today, so that's why there's no postage yet. So tomorrow that will, when I ship the item, I'll come here, I'll select it, and it'll show up. Now notice, it does pull in your promoted data. It's showing the profit based on, what you have, how much the item cost, and it's showing your what ad rate that you have your promoted listing set at. If you do have items that are refunded, they will, it'll say refunded here and they'll be red, canceled is blue. And that is pretty much it for the sales tracker part of this presentation. Now that we're done looking at the sales page, let's look at some of the data analysis features of the spreadsheet. So what I'm displaying here is the dashboard, and you can see we've got this, the top part of the screen is broken down into monthly trends, current year, and yearly trends. So on each of these and in other parts of the spreadsheet, you're going to see this list of items, just like this. We got total number of items sold, our gross sales, cost of goods, shipping fees, um, eBay fees, promoted listing fees, any refunds, and then with that data, you can calculate a gross profit. Expenses would be anything other than cost of goods. So things like your eBay store fees, the cost of poly bags, maybe you bought some boxes, etc. Net profit would be gross profit minus expenses. And so you can see that with the sales that we pulled in earlier, this was the results, and that's landing in the January box. Far right side of the screen, everything is broken down by year, so that you can, you view your trends from, across years instead of across months. And in the middle, it's just pulling in everything for the current year, but taking it a step further and calculating out some, averages. So if we calculate the average number of sales per day, this is showing 1.8. I can project that across the entire year, and if we continue with the same trend, we'll sell 639 items. And it's the same concept for the gross sales, cost of goods, shipping, etc. So it can give us a pretty good idea of how things might play out over the year based on these averages. This data is then used in the graphs underneath to try to illustrate, to further illustrate, how things are playing out with your selling on eBay. If I go over to my personal spreadsheet, you'll see that the data makes a little more sense. When you have more data spread across several months and several years, you start to see trends. And so you can see here, um, like my monthly sales have been, dropping over the last part of the year. Things get busy working on the spreadsheet, not listing as much, kind of took a little bit of a hit there. Um, yearly sales, steadily increasing since 2021, 2022 increased to 2023. This is a part-time project for me. I have a full-time job, so I'm happy with these results. Um, again, down at the bottom, we can see, some trend lines to try to get a good picture of how things are moving along. If we go over to monthly trends, the idea with this particular tab is that we're looking at the last 12 months of data and then taking the last 3 months and figuring out what our averages are, and then using that average to calculate what would happen based on that 3-month trend over the next 6 to 12 months. Same thing with a 1-month trend. Let's say you thought you did really good in the month of December. Maybe you change some things in your business and you're going to, move forward with those practices. What could the potential be if every month was like the month of December? That's what you're going to show here. And then, more arts and charts to support those findings. Daily trends is another breakdown of that same data. We've got a rolling 30 days of uh, data to work with, where I'm taking a 10-day trend, figuring out the averages of those 10 days, and projecting those out over 12 months. And then more arts and charts. So with the data from the monthly, yearly, and daily, and then breakdowns of maybe 1-month trends, 3-month trends, 10-day trends, you can get a really good idea on where your business is going, and what to expect over the coming year. The reporting page is used to go back in time and look at 1 full year's of data. Now this can be helpful when it comes tax time, to try to reconcile some of your numbers with the numbers that eBay's provided. A lot of the data will come directly from eBay now, but you know there are opportunities to utilize this data to help with with your taxes. So what you can do here is that I can just type in a year that I have data, and everything updates. So you can see it's the same set of data, what all your numbers are, your monthly numbers, and quarterly. So you could use this if you're paying quarterly taxes. You could use this data down here to help out with that. It does summarize what your expenses were for the year. It pulls in mileage from the expenses page, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. Like in this case, the IRS rate was 67 cents, I think is actually 2024. So we would want 65 cents for 2023. I get a $2,000 deduction for that. I do take the home office deduction. I just do the square footage calculation. They get $5 per square foot up to a maximum of $300, $780 tax deduction. So that would be the purpose of the reporting page. The expense tracker page is used to capture all of the expenses associated with your business. So things like your sourcing for inventory, poly bags, boxes that you've purchased, mileage associated with your sourcing runs, things of that nature. To give you an idea of things that I've put in here, I've got lots of sourcing for inventory, lunches, um, labels for supplies, eBay store, and you can see I've color coded things as well. Now, a lot of times I color code my trips so that I can put a single mileage number in. So like this was a single day of sourcing. I hit multiple stores and, I was 160 miles. So the way this works is you would just, add a row. Um, let's put in 1/4/2024. Let's say we bought some poly bags on Amazon, supplies, and it was, $40. So I should be able to see that over on my dashboard under expenses, and sure enough, there it is. There's my $40. That'll also show up over on the reporting page for 2024, $40. Now these tags here are user configurable except for inventory. So let's say you wanted to put something in and say you just want to call it, let's say you want to call it polybags. Now, over on the expenses page, if I change this type to polybags, it is going to show up over here instead. And there it is. The last item that I'm going to show in this video is the product trends page. So what you can do with this particular function is, type a product or some keywords into the box up here next to product. And what it's going to do is it's going to go out and hit the sales page and pull in all data associated with your keywords. So let's say I want to look up, or, maybe I wonder, how are Levi 525 jeans selling? Type it in. It pulls in all of the times that I've sold Levi's 525 in the past. It pulls in the profit the price and the profit for each one of those, and it graphs it on this chart here. It's also going to take that data and summarize it up in this top area here. So you can see I've sold 14 items. My average sale price is $18.44, and I make an average profit of $7.65. So, with that data, you're able to, quickly, identify items that are working well for you, and then, take that information to, on your sourcing trips for further purchases.